What's up, guys? Simpy ASMR here, bringing you guys the Game Boy collection with some bubblegum chewing. I just want to thank everybody for subscribing and almost always leaving me positive feedback and comments in the comment section. I'm actually going to be covering like Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advanced. So anything Game Boy. I'm pretty sure I have all my games. It seems like every time I do a video, like the DS collection, I forgot to show some of my loose games that I had. Same with the 3DS collection. But yeah, guys, I do have a boxed Game Boy here. This actually belonged to an uncle through marriage. He had this in an N64. Obviously, he had them for 20 plus years. And he asked my brother, he was like, "Hey man, you want to buy the N64 and the Game Boy off of me?" My brother was like, "Well man, how much you want for it?" So he sold him a complete Game Boy in the box. Obviously it's been open, but, and an N64 with like 2 or 3 controllers. And I want to say 5 or 6 games for, I think he bought it for either 180 or 200, but I think it was a really good deal, especially because this is boxed. And he, actually I won't spoil it yet, but there was another boxed game that he gave us with this, a Game Boy game. Let's see which game I want to do first. We'll do the regular Game Boy games. I'm just gonna go ahead and do the game that he sold with this. And after my brother bought this and the game and the N64, my brother just gave me the Game Boy and the Game Boy game because he was more interested in the N64. So yeah, my brother just gave this stuff to me. But yeah, the game that he gave us with it complete, even though it does have a rip up here, Mortal Kombat 2. One of the better Mortal Kombats in my opinion. I'll just scoot that back a little. Alright, so we're going to run through the Game Boy games first. Oh, I did not realize I had Zelda Beacon out. Let's just do these then. My first Game Boy Color game, Zelda Oracle of Ages. I want to say I bought this back in probably 2016 for like $25. I thought I might have a price tag on the back. Next up is Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. I actually bought this and a yellow Game Boy Color off a guy that I used to work with. He was kind of an older guy. He told me he always took the Super Mario game and that Game Boy Color to the laundromat back in the day when he'd do laundry. Or Spider-Man. I forgot how I came across this game. I may have actually bought this off eBay in like a Game Boy lot or something. I feel like that sounds familiar, but I'm not real sure. I feel like my stomach never makes noises until I gotta make a ASMR video. Ridiculous. Oh, and the last Game Boy Color game that I have. Actually, I'm trying to look. I think these are, well, they're not advertised as Game Boy Color games, I guess, but yeah, the last Game Boy Color game that I have, Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers. I don't know. Apparently I can't read, that's throwing me off for some reason, but that was a fun game. I feel like they made this on the GameCube. I think I actually have this on the GameCube. Put that up there. We'll do Game Boy Advance next. The only boxed game that I have for the Game Boy Advanced, Driver 2 Advance. I don't think this has the manual. I could be wrong, it might, but okay, it's got something in there, but I gave $6 for this at a local game store. I wasn't gonna get it, but I was like, man, that being boxed, I mean, you know, for $6, I may as well just pick it up. I like Driver 2 on the PS1. I'm sure it's probably trash on the Game Boy Advance, but next up on the Advance, Donkey Kong Country. Bought that 3 years ago for $12. Next up is Super Mario Bros. 3. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get that open without the game flying out, but what's that say? Something forward. No, it says Super Mario Advance 4. Super Mario 3. Super Mario 3 for the NES is actually the game that got my gaming addiction started when I was a very young kid. I would say I was maybe 3 or 4 years old, and my grandma had Super Mario 3 on the NES, so she would always try to get me to come stay the night with her and beat that game. So me, her, and my brother, man, we all stayed up so late so many nights trying to beat that game, but we never did. Next up is Pokemon Gold for the Game Boy. I bought these on an auction site. I bought this one, Pokemon Crystal, and then I want to say 2 or 3 copies of Pokemon Yellow and a Pokemon Red. I bought all 5 of them. I want to say for either $55 or $65. And I parted them all out, made way more, and I got to keep this, so I basically got this game for free. I've actually done that a lot. I bought a Wii U off somebody off Facebook Marketplace for $120, and it had 5 games with it. So I put those games on eBay like immediately, and I walked away with like $122 off of eBay. So I basically got that Wii U for free. But next up, Pokemon Yellow. I had a copy of Red, Blue, and Yellow when I was a kid, and I gave this to my cousin. I gave the red version to my brother, even though red was my favorite color, so I don't know why I did that, but... And then I get blue for myself, which blue was my brother's favorite color, so I don't know why I didn't keep the red and give him the blue, but anyway. We had a lot of good memories. Sitting around with our Game Boys running through batteries left and right. Speaking of Pokemon Blue, got a good copy of Pokemon Blue here. And last but not least, for the Game Boy collection, Pokemon Red. It's a pretty crazy story with these 3. There was actually another red version that I bought. I want you to think to yourself right now, a copy of Red, Blue, and Yellow, actually 2 copies of Red and then Blue and Yellow. How much would you think I would have paid for 4 of these? They're all in really good condition. I've checked them to make sure they're all like legit copies and not some bootleg crap. For 4 of these, I gave $1. I went to a pallet store, and one of my ex-girlfriends was like, "Hey, are these worth any money?" And she handed me a little bag, and at the time, they had like a light hanging up in there, and if it was red, everything was $5. If it was yellow, everything was $3, and if it ever turned green, anything you find in there per item is $1. Well, since all 4 of these was in a bag together, that counted as $1. Absolutely insane. I've actually got something else. I should have did it when I was doing my 3DS collection video, but I'll make a separate video. But I found something else there that was like, it's gaming related, and at the time that I could only find a few on eBay, going from anywhere from $250 up to $500. But it was a limited edition console that I got for $5, but I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. I'll leave that for next week, so stay tuned. But thank you guys for coming. Please like and subscribe. Leave me some positive feedback if you want, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.